Welcome to the biology class. Today we will start with the revision part of this chapter of bio, that is the life processes. We have already discussed these topics in detail in our previous classes, but now today I have made this video for the revision purpose so that your concepts they may be clear again. Okay, if you have any doubt, so this video may help you. So let's begin with the definition of the life process. So what is the life process? My question to you is, before starting the chapter, that what are the differences in the characteristics of a living and a non-living individual? How can you differentiate between the living and the non-living individual? We can say that the living organisms, they show some of the basic characteristic features like excretion, reproduction. They can use their energy, they take their nutrition. So these are the various functions or activities that are performed by living beings which make them different from the non-living things. Okay, as we know that non-living things, they can't even reproduce, they can't excrete, they can't transport their material, and even they can't use the energy. Okay, even they can't produce the energy. So all the processes, all kind of activities which are differentiating a living being from the non-living thing, all those activities and functions, they are termed as the life processes, because these life processes, they are essential for the maintenance and the survival of the living individual. So if we have to define the life process, it is all the activities and function of living beings which are essential for their maintenance and survival. जितने भी functions हैं, जितनी भी activities हैं, एक individual perform करता है जिनके कारण वो survive कर सकता है, all those processes, they are called as the life processes. So in this chapter we will study in detail about the life processes which make the life possible of the living organism. So let us begin with the first life process, that is nutrition. Now we all are familiar with the word nutrition, that it is the process of obtaining the food. Okay, and after obtaining the food, that food, it is absorbed and assimilated, or we can say it is used for the various functionings. Okay, so the main function of the nutrition, it is that the food that we eat, it helps in synthesizing the proteins, and we all know that the proteins, they are the building blocks of our body. Clear? जो प्रोटीन्स होती हैं वो हमारी बॉडी की बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स हैं. सो इट हेल्प्स इन द ग्रोथ एंड रिपेयर ऑफ द डैमेज्ड बॉडी पार्ट्स, एज वेल एज इट ऑल्सो हेल्प इन द प्रॉपर ग्रोथ ऑफ द बॉडी. क्लियर? सो हेयर if we talk about the second use of the nutrition, it is food helps in yielding the energy. We all are dependent on food to get the energy, as the automobiles, they are requiring the fuels to run themselves. In the same way, our body, it requires the fuel in the form of food. Okay, so that food is working as a fuel which give us energy to do the work. Now the food, it contains many of the regulatory substances or components, like we all are familiar with hormones, vitamins. All these kind of components of the food, they help in the regulation of the different body functions. Okay, and finally the food also helps in the development of the body. Now the question arises that how do organisms, they get nutrition, or how do organisms, they get the food? So basically there are only two modes of the nutrition. One is autotrophic and next one is heterotrophic. So let's summarize the autotrophic nutrition. Here in the autotrophic nutrition, the organisms, they obtain their own food. They prepare their own food by using the inorganic raw materials and in the presence of sunlight, okay, and chlorophyll. We can take the example like all the green plants, the cyanobacteria, जिसको आप blue green algae भी बोलते हो, some of the bacteria and some of the protists like Euglena, they have the chlorophyll pigment and they can perform the function, that is photosynthesis, by which the plants, they prepare their own food, okay. That's why this kind of nutrition, it is called as autotrophic nutrition. On the other hand, there is the another mode of nutrition, that is heterotrophic nutrition. Here in the heterotrophic nutrition, the organisms, they obtain the ready-made food from outside, okay, or in the simple manner we can say that here the organisms, they are dependent on the other kind of organisms to get the food. Sometimes the organisms, they take food from the plants, or sometimes the organisms, they take the food from the another living organism like any kind of animal also, okay. So different heterotrophs, they are animal, fungus, protozoans and many of the bacteria. They are the example of heterotroph. So let's begin with the detail of the autotrophic nutrition. As I've already discussed with you, in autotrophic nutrition, the plants, basically the green plants and other living organisms that we have discussed, they have ability to prepare their own food, okay. So the process by which they can prepare their own food, it is called as photosynthesis. Now the process of formation of organic food from inorganic raw materials. Now organic food means that it should contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, etc. And inorganic raw materials means that all the gases we can talk about, ये जितने भी हमारे पास elements हैं, they are they are inorganic raw materials. तो inorganic raw materials को use कर जब plants अपना food खुद बनाते हैं in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, that process is called as photosynthesis. Here I have written the simple reaction of photosynthesis, where we can say that here carbon dioxide and water, they are the inorganic raw materials. In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, they form a complex carbohydrate, that is glucose and oxygen, okay. Now here what we have to remember, that the excess amount of glucose, it is converted into the sucrose and then further it is just stored in the form of starch in the plants. Now photosynthesis, it mainly occur in the leaves. So question over here arises that why only leaves they are selected for photosynthesis. Leaves में ऐसा क्या है जिसके थ्रू photosynthesis सिर्फ वहाँ ही होती है mainly, okay, because we know that leaf is the kitchen of the plant. So what is special in the leaf? So let's discuss. The leaves, they are green in color as they contain the chlorophyll. They are flat structure so that maximum of sunlight it can fall over that, okay. It contains stomata so that the exchange of gases can easily take place, and here in the leaves maximum vascular tissue it is present. Vascular tissue contains xylem and phloem so that the movement of water and mineral can become easy. So these are the factors that why the leaves, they are selected for the photosynthesis, okay. So in leaves, as we have discussed, we are having the green color pigment called as the chlorophyll, which is situated in the specialized plastid named as chloroplasts. So these chloroplasts, they are located in two types of parenchyma cells that are present in the leaves. So these parenchyma cells, they are divided into two forms, that are the spongy parenchyma and palisade parenchyma. So here I have represented one diagram of the leaf, okay. Here you can see the waxy cuticle, that is the outermost waxy cuticle that is present on the leaf surface. अगर आप leaf को touch कर देखते हो तो एक slippery layer present होती है, that is the waxy cuticle, okay, which is covering the epidermis part. So leaf, it has two epidermis, upper and lower epidermis. Now there is quite difference between these two epidermis. एक तो position का है, one is upper and another one is lower. The another difference is that number of stomatas, they are maximally present in the lower epidermis. Upper epidermis, either they lack the stomata, and if the stomatas they are present, they are very few in number. Okay, now inside the epidermis, the two types of parenchymatous cells they are present. आपने 9th में different kind of plant tissues पढ़े हुए हैं. So I hope you all are familiar with the parenchymatous tissue. So this parenchymatous tissue, it is divided into two types, that is palisade cells and the spongy cells. Palisade cells, they are elongated in shape, okay, they are rectangular, elongated in shape, and spongy cells, they are oval in shape. Clear? So this is the diagram which is representing the position of the chloroplast in the leaf. All these parenchymatous cells, whether they are palisade or they are spongy, both of them they contain the chloroplast, and chloroplast contain the chlorophyll, which is the main pigment for the photosynthesis. Now again, the next part is very important question from board view, that what are the main events in the photosynthesis? Yeah, what kind of main events it occurs during the photosynthesis? So here the first point is absorption of the light energy by the chlorophyll. सबसे पहला step जो फोटोसिंथेसिस में होता है वो क्या है? जो क्लोरोफिल है वो क्या करती है? सोलर एनर्जी को, सन की एनर्जी को ट्रैप करती है. ओके, सेकेंड, that solar energy which is trapped by the chlorophyll is now converted into the another form of energy, that is the chemical energy. That is why the plants, they are also called as transducers and transformers, because they can convert one form of energy into the another form of energy. Okay, now the second step also involves the presence of light energy, where this light energy will help in splitting the water molecule to give out the oxygen gas. Okay, now come to the third event, that is the reduction of carbon dioxide into the carbohydrates. We all are familiar with the word reduction. Reduction means addition of hydrogen atom. So कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड की रिडक्शन होकर क्या बनता है? कार्बोहाइड्रेट बनता है. ओके, सो दीज वर द मेन इवेंट्स ऑफ photosynthesis. Now in desert plants there is quite change in the lifestyle. Now in the normal plants what happens? Tomatas, they open during the daytime and close during the night time, and these tomatas they help in exchange of the gases. But here in the desert plants, the carbon dioxide is absorbed during the night, as tomatas they open during the night in the desert plants. Now after that carbon dioxide, it is converted into the organic acid. Okay, आप हायर क्लासेस में पढ़ोगे that C4 बनता है. Okay, that is one of the organic acid. Now during the daytime what happened? These tomatas they get closed, and now the solar energy, it is absorbed by the chlorophyll for the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so that was about the mechanism in the desert plant. Now if we talk about the raw materials that participate in photosynthesis, they are chlorophyll, carbon dioxide, water and light. Okay, so let's begin with the chlorophyll. The primary फोटोसिंथेटिक पिगमेंट इज क्लोरोफिल, यानी जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पिगमेंट है जो लाइट को क्या करती है, ट्रैप करती है, एंड इट कन्वर्ट द सोलर एनर्जी इनटू द केमिकल energy. Now there are some kind of secondary pigments also. Instead of chlorophyll, other pigments are also present in the plant like carotenoids. These are the secondary pigments which also help in absorbing the solar energy. Okay, but all the solar energy that are trapped by these secondary pigments, they are hand over to the chlorophyll. They are passed on to the chlorophyll to perform the function of photosynthesis. Now the next raw material is carbon dioxide. Now we all know that the land plants, they obtain the carbon dioxide from air through the stomata, and the aquatic plants which live in water, they take up the dissolved carbon dioxide that is present in the water. Now for taking the carbon dioxide from the air, the plants, they are having some specialized structures called as the stomata. So here I have shown you the figure of the stomata. The first one is the open stomata and another one is the closed stomata. Now stomata, it contains the two guard cells which are surrounded by the epidermal cells. Okay, and these guard cells, they cover a small structure called as the stomatal pore. So when the stomata is open, it means the stomatal pore is open, and if the stomata is closed, it means the stomatal pore, it is closed. Now let's discuss that how the stomatas they become open and closed. Now during the daytime, what happens, the water is absorbed by the guard cells, these kidney shaped cells, and they get swell up due to the turgor pressure. As the turgor pressure, it is applied on the wall of the guard cells, it becomes swell, and due to the pressure, the stomatal pore, it gets open. Okay, then during the night time, what happens, the guard cells, they lose their water by exoosmosis. As a result, the turgor pressure will released, it will decrease, and hence what happen, the guard cells, they get shrink and the stomatal pore get closed. So next important part is that what is the function of stomata in the plants. These stomatas, as I have already discussed with you, it helps in the exchange of the gases, and second process, that it helps in the transpiration. Now you should know that what is the meaning of word transpiration. Transpiration means the loss of the extra water via the leaf stomatas. Okay, प्लांट के पास जितना भी एक्स्ट्रा वाटर होता है वो प्लांट क्या करता है, स्टोमेटा के थ्रू रिमूव करता है प्लांट बॉडी से. क्लियर? सो दैट प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड एज ट्रांसपिरेशन, विच इज अगेन डन बाय द हेल्प ऑफ stomatas. Now the next raw material is water. Again, the plants, the land plants, they obtain their water from the soil. Okay, now xylem, it supplies water and mineral to the leaves from the root. Okay, root, they absorb water and mineral from the soil, then it get transferred via the xylem to the leaves. Then comes the light. Light is another important factor on which the photosynthesis depends. Okay, so it is one of the important raw material. Photosynthesis occurs maximally in the wavelength of 400 to 700 nanometer. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 raised to power minus 9 meter. Okay, so this is the range of wavelength. ये competitive exams में पूछी जाती है. Clear? And secondly, this light is responsible for the photolysis of water. We have already discussed about the photolysis of water previously, that water, it in the presence of light, it splits into the hydrogen ion, electrons, and the main product, that is the oxygen. Clear?